After Donald Trump announced that he was going to shut down all travel into the U.S. by Muslims, which includes Muslim American citizens abroad, or, of course, our own military members, since we do have Muslims serving over in other countries fighting against ISIS, terrorists, and actually protecting America, well, he had to drop by some of the different media outlets. And I want to show you when he dropped down to Morning Joe to talk to Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, and they ended up having a little bit of a spat. Let's take a look.
Do you believe that we need members of the Muslim American community, of the Muslim community around the world, to help fight the war on terror? And perhaps that this is incredibly counterproductive?
No, I think it's something that has to be done. I think it's a temporary move. I'm not looking at this long term. I'm looking at a temporary. We have to get our hands around a very serious problem. Look at what happened in Paris, the horrible carnage. And frankly, Mika, if you look at Paris, and I hate to do this because the Commerce Department of Paris, the Chamber of Commerce is going to go crazy, but Paris is no longer the same city it was. They have sections in Paris that are radicalized where the police refuse to go there. They're petrified. The police refuse to go in there. We have places in London and other places that are so radicalized that the police are afraid for their own lives. We have to be very smart and very vigilant. We have to find out who gave this guy $28,000, put it in his account. How many other $28,000 checks were made? Are there thousands all over the country? When you say you're afraid, I think you should be afraid. You should be afraid of the other side, not my side.
Well,
I want to get our hands around a very difficult situation.
All right, Donald.
Hey, Joe, one other thing.
Donald. You got to let us ask questions. You can't just talk. No, you got to let us actually
All
ask
right.
questions. You're just talking. All Muslims.
Joe, I'm not just
Donald.
talking. Joe, I'm not just talking.
You're
I'm
not
giving
going
you
to
the
keep
facts.
talking. We will go to break if you keep talking. We're going to ask you
Go to break
questions.
then, Joe.
All right,
All
go
I'm
to
doing
break.
is
Go to
giving
break,
you the
everybody.
facts,
Go to break.
and you don't
Go to
want to hear
break.
the facts.
Go to break
That's
right
okay.
now. We'll be right back with more.
Yeah, and he went to break. Yeah, he pulled the trigger. There you go, man. So, all right. So, let's talk about facts, right? Donald Trump says, well, you guys, you just want to hear facts. That's why you shut me up. That's why you shut me down. Okay, well, let's give you a fact then. You know those no-go zones that you were just ranting about? They don't exist. They don't exist in Paris. They don't exist in London. It's all bullshit. But you see, this isn't the liberal media. Joe Scarborough is not liberal media. Liberal media would have actually pushed back against that point. What Joe Scarborough was pushing back against was being interrupted. He would have pushed back on that if it was liberal media, but since it's not liberal media, since it's establishment corporate media, he didn't push back against that. He felt disrespected. Remember, Joe Scarborough is not a liberal. Joe Scarborough is a former Republican congressman and now establishment hack. And he loves the establishment because they sign his paychecks. Okay. Now, what's interesting about that is that the Republican establishment doesn't actually like Trump. However, the media establishment loves him. Why? Why do they love him? Well, it's because he brings in the views. He brings in the money. But when you have him on, it starts to become a weird balancing act. Because first of all, you have to balance, I want Trump to come back so that I can get all these views, but also he really starts to get on your nerves when he starts to disrespect you. By, running over you, by talking over you, by not actually sitting there and being a good interviewer or interviewee, right? So what's interesting is that here's Joe Scarborough actually having some balls and standing up to Donald Trump. And it was on MSNBC, no less. Now, MSNBC, remember, not a liberal host. Joe Scarborough is not liberal. If it were a liberal host that was doing this, I would expect MSNBC to make them have a teary Melissa Harris Perry style apology. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Donald Trump. I didn't mean to be rude to you. I didn't mean to be rude to you. But since it is Joe Scarborough, since he's a conservative, he can do this, which is good. But I still can't really give Scarborough that much credit. Now, even though he shut down Trump in the middle of a ridiculous rant, The thing is, he continues to give Trump a platform to spew his hateful bullshit. And that's the thing. And also, he doesn't push back against that bullshit. That's the other thing. But what this is about is it's about being disrespected. Joe did not want to be disrespected by Trump. And when Trump came back later on, he was actually respectful. But he got to continue spewing his bullshit. So that shows you that Joe Scarborough and some of the media, they're not really pushing back against his points. It's about respect. It's about being disrespected. And this is what Trump does. You see, he's gotten so used to getting away with disrespecting the media, disrespecting the establishment press. I actually don't have an issue with disrespecting the press. I don't think that they've earned a lot of respect. I think they've been lapdogs to the government for way too long. However, I think that if you're going to disrespect the media, you come armed with facts, not bullshit. And that's the difference. Trump spouts nothing but bullshit, not facts. He doesn't come armed with facts. So that's the problem that I have with it. And to their credit, some of the media has actually pushed back against the points. And the media, the rest of the media, is starting to get really tired of being disrespected, of being pushed around, even though it's had to do this balancing act to get more views. Now, the whole point of this, of me bringing this up, is because when it comes down to it, the media is at fault for creating this monster. They fed him by giving him airtime, by putting their views and their profits ahead of truth. And what they've got is Trump. Trump is their Frankenstein. That's essentially what he is. He is the media's Frankenstein. This is what happens when you feed a narcissist and you give him free reign without challenging the ideas. This is what happens when you're a lapdog. They helped make him. And now, at the end of the day, they're reaping what they sow. And it's a dark, dark harvest indeed.